And that was Greg Murray and the Seven Wonders with Dreamers and Doers. The band, or at least around half of them, are in the studio with us this evening. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
And thank you very much for taking your time out of your day to join us in the studio today. It's great to have you here with us, especially for our first show. I can imagine it's a bit daunting, but you know.
It is for us anyway. You guys have been off at different shows, so you're probably well into it by now.
We are not.
We don't know what you're going to ask us.
Yes, yeah. We'll see.
So be gentle.
Oh, we won't be vicious. So on your website, we were reading through your biography, and you state that your music is often cited as being called death country. I was just really curious as to what is actually meant by this, and could you give us possibly some insight into it, into the actual meaning of death country?
That's a big question. That's a big question. I like the discordant part of the country sort of music, and something that has a wee bit more of a sinister feel, but not in an off, lyrical point of view or perspective, but more so that the music is describing itself through something just a wee bit of a different tinge, So the odd wee time when the lyrics might be a little bit down and the music can be quite upbeat, and vice versa, whenever the music can be really discordant and the lyrics can be quite sweet. So I like the play on those two different things.
So
that's the sort of country.
Is it essentially just a juxtaposition of the dark and light in both genres? Okay, because as a specialist metal DJ, I was a bit confused. Like, is this supposed to mean talking about death, or is this like death metal elements?
I think there's an Americana about some of the stuff that we do, and I think there's also there's a very indie element to what we do as well. I'm sorry about that. When we were recording a few years ago, I think that I certainly thought that what we were doing was a little bit like the Violent Femmes, and I always think the Violent Femmes are very death country, not in a death metal sense, just a morbid country music type way. But we're not morbid. We do quite hokey things, but the juxtaposition is in sometimes the lyric.
I think the Americana is lovely, and it's a lovely feel, and I think the Irish connection too with American, maybe there's a wee bit of a wholesomeness there too. I think that goes with it. Things like Grand Drive and Calexico and stuff like that. That sort of thing appeals to me. The whole sort of escapism, the whole sort of grandeur of it. The big sounds, which strikes a balance. But that's the Americana. That's the direction we're pointing in, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good. You talked about how when you were doing it a few years ago, that's what you were thinking. You also released an album a few years back, about 5 years ago now. And how come? Because most CDs you get, some will just do single CDs like 10, 11 tracks, some do 2 CDs, so 24 tracks. You guys decided to go for 45.
Plus 2 bonus tracks.
Plus the 2 bonus.
45 songs about love, that's what you're talking about, isn't it? What is that one? I have no idea. It's one of those things where I love to write, and I love to produce things, and Andy and I, we've been doing it for a long time, and it's one of those things where on a Sunday evening he would come to me and we would get round a hot computer and ideas that I'd have flowing of an evening, and I was there, what do you think of this, what do you think of this, and the things piled up, and there was a batch of so many of them that we're very fond of, and they had that theme running through them of love and loss, and that softness, that part of our everyday character where we feel it's worth talking about, that passion. And they all had a similar thread, similar feel to them. And I think we just clustered them all together and said, this isn't a bad little thing. So there's actually there is 45, but there's actually 2. There's a bonus 2.
A bonus 2. I think the simple answer to your question is Greg is really prolific.
Yeah.
He really is prolific. And before you know it, you've got a mountain of songs.
Yeah.
And because these weren't released in some CD format, why not?
Why not?
Just put it all out there, and it's just the stuff that you kind of collected, and so why not? And 2 bonus tracks too.
And the 45 songs about hate is next year, I think.
That sounds good. So you mentioned it comes quite quickly. How long does it actually take you roughly to the first ideas of what you want to make a song about to having a final track that you're happy with?
I have a little home studio, and I would a lot of the time that you're feeling a little bit pensive, a little bit down, I would tend to lift the guitar and go into a little studio and start just strumming and just reminiscing sometimes, and then living sometimes through the songs. And not only that, but other wee stories that people would tell me as well in the day. And I think things like that strike a chord with me, the little message, and that message will dictate another little thing, a little turn of phrase. And it's the turns of phrases that I seem to latch on to. And then I'll put into a little dictaphone and sketch an idea out, and there'll be a dozen ideas, and a couple of weeks later I'll listen back and think, that's interesting, I like a bit of that, and I like a bit of that, and then it'll rise through the ether then, and I'll put a little verse and chorus to it. And then at that stage Andy comes in, and he says, no, that's a load of rubbish, Greg, what are you doing? Get rid of that, ditch that, ditch that, ditch that. And Andy will put a wee bit of piano and guitar and a wee bit of vocals and drums and God knows what else tickles his fancy.
Yeah.
And then we take it to the band and we think, what is this like? And sometimes it'll rise and sometimes it'll fall, you know.
Sometimes we find ourselves blaming one another the week after.
We have a finger pointing
Bright
Tuesday.
idea was the kettle drum.
Kettle drum. And that's the thing with technology, isn't it? You can just throw a lot to it, and oftentimes it's what you take off maybe that makes it work better than what you put on, you know, in a lot of respects.
Because I mean, with a lot of songs these days, some of them do seem quite noisy, so it's very easy just to think, oh, let's just add a bit of this. But how do you guys find yourself limiting yourself in that case?
Well, that's why we've got 7 wonders. We can't.
And it was 90 songs with Andy.
It was just like, no.
There's some quality control. There really is. I don't know, I've got newbie immunity.
Andy is the new guy in the band.
Andy is a newbie.
Very brand
I'm
new.
in the 3rd year of newbie now, so it's wearing a bit thin.
Well, Andy, tell us what you think. I mean, because we're only a month ago, really, did we throw 20 songs to this man to say, listen, we've got a string of gigs on our doorstep. What are you going to do about this?
Yeah.
And what did you think?
It's taken over my entire life in a good way. It's been one of those things that if I don't hurl myself into this, it's not going to happen. But that's been worth doing, and I'm not sure if it's in a good way. It's always going to feel like that because there are other commitments as well to juggle. But in terms of churning out what I view to be good stuff, because I'm still listening to this music as I'm not in this band, so I'm still getting into it as well as having to play in it as well. So it's quite a experience at the moment. It's quite good with fresh eyes and fresh ears and in it, but also on the outside.
He's doing a hell of a job too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
And I'll just take this moment to quickly say thanks for saying you're here. As for who's here, can you let us know when you write in a message? Because it's.
Oh, is this it over here?
Yeah. So.
Someone said, "I'm here."
I'm here. Who are you?
Do we have the studio inbox ghost appearing?
Yeah.
I'm here, but I don't know who you are.
Okay. This is live then. This is.
So if anyone wants to ask you guys anything, they can just message in. There should be a little message box just to the side of the player.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And we'll see what comes up.
Yeah, go to kuberadio.com and there is a little shout box. So send us questions or music requests or anything you would like to say in general. That'd be awesome. Gonna take a break now and play At Your Most Beautiful, also by Greg Murray and the Seven Wonders. Hello everybody and welcome back. This is a Major Music Show. If you've just joined us, we are in the studio with Greg Murray and the Seven Wonders. That was At Your Most Beautiful by Greg Murray and the Seven Wonders. And welcome to the second half of the interview that we are conducting. Going back a bit, we were talking about your latest release, which was back in 2010, 45 Songs About Love, and I think you mentioned doing another album soon. Did you say that was called 45 Songs About Death? No. Was that just a joke that
Just a joke.
I somehow just stored the joke?
But you never know. You know, it's one of these things. Stranger things have happened, really. No, but we'll have in the pipeline possibly between 12, maybe even 15 tracks, new material or original material, and it's been mixed as we speak. Good friend of ours by the name of Mark Eden, and he plays in lots of different outfits, but he has a home mixing suite, and he's getting involved with us, and he's a lovely gent, and it's wonderful how we've been mixing it. It's all via email, actually. This is 21st century for you, and I see him the odd day, you know, whenever our paths cross, but it tends to be that he's assisting us by mixing the songs, and then he messages Andy and myself, and we've been touring back and forward, and it's been lovely because he's got a great insight into what he wants to do. He wants to be a professional mixer, so he's cutting his teeth on us, really, you know,
Okay.
to try to build a career, you know, and he's doing well. And those two songs you've heard were mixed by him. And,
Oh, cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Got
They were
some
really nice.
fresh stuff.
He's done a good job.
He's done a good job, I
Yeah, it's
feel.
amazing.
Yeah. He's done a cracking job, and there's more to come. We're working on one at the minute, which I think he's raised the bar again, hasn't he?
Yes,
you know, from,
he has.
Do we have any kind of date for when that's going to be coming,
That's the
or
question.
just
As soon as
Just
we're
so
all
we're all
ready,
ready.
as soon as we're all ready. We
Yeah.
were asked that last night. We're on Moran's radio last night, and they asked the same question. After Christmas, we're looking for something, and we're looking for a venue, a lovely venue with an appreciative audience for a CD
A
release.
big venue.
Go
that
on,
can fit.
tell us, Lauren.
that can
This is
fit.
Lauren here. Doesn't like to say much. Whenever the red button is on.
Thanks so much.
Go on,
Okay.
Lauren.
Yeah, basically because obviously there's quite a number of us in the band and we take up a lot of room, so we do kind of want something big, really. That and to fit Greg's ego in the room as well. I'm joking. No, there's quite a few of us, so
how does that actually work on the slightly smaller stages, fitting all 8 of you and the ego?
Very difficult. It can be very difficult.
I don't think it's been too bad.
We did a gig not long ago where the stage was more portrait than it was landscape, so it was just deep with people, wasn't it? It had layers.
Yeah.
That was unusual.
I think it was
But
2x2.
Because we've got a
No,
cello.
there's-
Cello
yeah,
takes
really.
up quite a lot of room. Keyboard
That's true.
plus an
Bongos.
accordion player,
Accordion,
percussion.
bongos.
It's all sort of room-consuming stuff, especially you.
Especially you.
I do like to take up a lot of room with this.
So
What
it can
does the
be
deep play?
tricky.
I play cello, but it's
Ah,
an
electric
electric
cello.
version of it.
And flute.
And flute.
And beautiful vocals too. Don't forget your
thank
instrument
you.
of your voice.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
Oh,
Sweet,
Greg,
isn't
you're
it?
so sweet.
Aw.
That's a
Lovely man.
You guys.
But the odd time I do forget about her on stage.
Yeah,
as has
on
been known.
occasion, yeah. But that was the
I
same
tend
gig I
to-
was actually sitting behind. So.
Well, I think I have to put that down to experience, because oftentimes in maybe the last couple of songs of the set we'll introduce people as we go along,
yeah.
and because Lauren was set down and we were almost 2x2 in
Yeah.
a bus formation
Yeah.
in the last gig that Andy mentioned, I forgot her.
Yeah, if Greg doesn't do a head count before he starts playing, it can go completely wrong. I was
Oh my.
we did a gig at the Brown Jug, and I was out in the backyard of the old Brown Jug just socialising, and I thought that sounds familiar. And it was the band, and they'd started without me. And Greg's a teacher, so he should know about head
Absolutely
counts.
right. You know, it was a very important gig. We had to start without you. Sorry, fella. You know.
You just forgot me.
Did you just not notice the layer of the music missing?
I don't know. I was
You
just.
know, the guitar player,
It was the euphoria of the moment. And even the last gig we'd done, which was, what was that?
It was
in the
the
Roebuck.
Roebuck in Leeds.
We had a beautiful marquee out the back, a beautiful stage and a PA system and everything.
We started without Johnny.
And
though.
with people up and dancing and everything, and we decided to go for it. And then Johnny arrived in. This is Johnny, you can't make it tonight. Andy's brother, on bongos and everything percussive, and we had started halfway through the song, and his Congo section, it just began as he walked on the stage, so we couldn't have timed it better.
Yeah.
But he had
Yeah.
3 pints of lager in his hand at the same time.
Yeah, he'd sorted his priorities out. Just about made it for his part to start, which was quite cool, really.
We've got a few ideas for him, I think, for a few showmanship moves, which will entail some of those things, I think, in subsequent gigs.
Okay.
It doesn't involve lycra. does it?
All in one.
Oh no, so have you not like thought about doing a round robin? So 7 of you, but
Oh.
only 3 of you on the stage at a time, and then you can
That's
just like.
me.
Well,
Now
we
then.
could.
Yeah.
I
Just
think we
for fun.
should just change key, change
Well, James has done that,
instruments.
hasn't he?
Yeah, James, our keyboard player in rehearsal, it just completely changed the key of the piece.
Be
Really.
careful, he's
Yeah.
listening.
Darn it. He'll do it all again tonight.
Classically trained and in the wrong key. Imagine
Yeah.
starting the song in the wrong
Is it?
key.
Yeah.
Was that easy
No,
done?
he did it on purpose.
He did not.
He did it on purpose.
Andy, help us out. Listen, the man recorded it. Did he or did he not?
Which song was it?
When Lauren
Go on,
began
Andy.
to chuckle and mock him
Yeah.
quite openly,
Why is it my fault?
he covered his tracks. You can hear it in the recording. You're absolutely
Oh, yeah.
falling on the floor.
Really?
laughing.
I need to
Yeah.
re-listen to this recording.
And this is where we're recording on Tuesday. Actually, straight after this, we leg it off back to a lovely place down London Road, where Professor Martin Parker. And
It was meant to be here.
It's a 2-story building. It is a shed, but it's one of those old Victorian 2-story things, and he writes books there in the library. And that's where they're listening to now, hopefully. So that we're going to wing away back there this evening just to scratch the surface on some new material,
Okay.
hopefully.
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck with it, and hopefully it all comes together in a way that you're all satisfied with. I have another potentially heavy question.
Greg.
As a band that is taking the more traditional route into the music industry of playing live gigs and contacting labels and PRs and just people in the press industry,
Radio
I was
stations.
in comparison with like other bands who have worked their way into the industry through having 2 or 3 covers on YouTube, like your Justin Biebers of the world. I was wondering, what are the typical day-to-day challenges you face as a band making your way in the world through using this approach?
Going the covers route first of all, rather than
Going the playing in local pubs rather than putting yourself on YouTube and then being discovered by a talent agent who scours, say, social media.
I don't feel there's, I mean, I don't know, I think this day and age everything's X Factor this and X Factor that, and everything's a cover of this and a cover of that, and everything's a cappella this and a cappella that. I don't know. I just think to write original material, you know, it's non-existent these days. It really is, and it's a shame. You just need to go out onto the street and listen to bands, and you know, and a band who are playing covers will get £500 a night, and you're lucky to get you know half of that for an original outfit, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I remember in Belfast going to see bands, and no one played covers. Everyone did their original material. You know, I'm a great believer. You know, things that go around come around. It's a cyclic thing. You know, and I'm hoping, you know, that the original material will rise. You know, I think. I mean, you're not going to get a band, you know, Simon Cowell saying, "Listen, there's original material." You won't go for that. You know, it's something that you've got to play around with it, and it's building a little following from a small little venue and another little venue and another little venue, and working your magic in a little local area rather than going for mega money and everyone's appreciation and 10 million likes and all the rest of it. It's just having an audience that you can work with of like-minded individuals, and having a special evening that night.
Yeah.
And whether it's podcasts or video or whatever, it doesn't matter, but having something that you can kindle yourself, you know, that's what I feel, you know, and having an audience and treating them to a lovely night, you know, and the fact that it's original music and we're getting them on the floor and they're feeling good about it, that's an extra bonus. And I think that's the thing. The most recent gigs we've been doing, it's been a lovely environment. It's been really stress-free. It's been a precious place to be, you know, to be playing to people. And I think we want to bring some of that back in, you know, that live magic. You know, I mean, thinking back to the 70s, you know, the likes of Bruce Springsteen playing in a small little pokey venue where it's a special 500 people to be there, you know. Put your cameras away, put your phones away, listen to what we're trying to say a little bit more. You know, a wee bit of that, I think, is what we're trying to get to, you know.
Yeah.
Packaging it small and seeing where it takes us, you know, stage by stage.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming shows?
Yes. 27th of November, Roebuck,
Yes.
as far as I know.
Which is
Actually, back
amazing.
in the big marquee.
Well, if people want to know, they can just go on gregmurrayuk and keep up to date there, or
That's
actually on Facebook,
Yeah.
Greg Murray and the Seven Wonders. We do update it quite often if we have new gigs, and we all share it as well.
Mhm.
As you saw, we shared the show tonight, so people can sort of follow us and things like that. We update it a lot.
I did notice you also had a Twitter and a Tumblr.
Oh, what?
Yes, Greg does. Yes, you do. You have a Twitter page.
Twitter and a Tumblr.
And a Tumblr page. Yes, you do. He does. Yes, we do.
Okay,
Have
so you
I
can follow
posted
him on
to
there
that
as well.
yet? Have I put on? Can you look after that?
Yes,
Because-
I will. Greg.
Oh,
We did
Lauren.
retweet you earlier about you coming here.
Did you?
So,
Yes.
yeah.
He
No.
doesn't check his
Okay.
I never.
his
No,
phone.
I
I'll
never do.
sort it out for you.
I need somebody to help with that.
Lauren.
But 4th of December, we're playing somewhere on the 4th of December.
The Port Hill Cricket Club.
Port Hill Cricket Club, yes. And there's something. Oh, there's something else.
There
There's
is
a couple
something
of.
else.
There's a couple. Oh, there's a couple of things in the new year as well. Still irons in the fire, and of course
I
anything
think we'll
that's
be
in.
playing at Gladstone Beer Festival next
We
That's
will.
year.
next year.
That's
That's the
another
big
one as
one.
well.
That
Back
takes
in July.
place
And
at the
that'll be
beginning
lovely.
of July.
I think it's the 2nd of July or
That's-
something around
that's
that time.
a great little place to watch
It's fabulous.
bands as well.
And there's lots of
Yes.
beer.
And they put sort of good quality original local bands on as well,
They do.
which
Have
is
you
really
guys
good.
not played that festival before?
Yes,
Yeah.
twice.
During
It
my
was
digging, I
wonderful.
found
Ooh.
some really, really nice reviews from fans just saying about how
Oh,
they
really?
enjoyed your
Oh,
set.
Oh,
yeah.
right, great.
Yeah.
Well, we're back there on the 2nd, so come down, we'll have a great day of it, you know, it's
Yeah.
always cracking. And, you know, maybe if we talk nice to them, there could even be a CD release there, because they're lovely people there. Nurse
Yeah.
and Glenn, aren't they? You know, they're lovely people. And
CD and beer.
Absolutely. Like.
Never a bad
Sounds good.
thing.
Not a
On
bad
the middle
combination.
pottery as well. There's another friend of
Right,
ours
yeah.
who's invited us to play there. We have to confirm a date yet. That's another one in the
Yeah.
pipeline. And of course, anything in Keele University. These lovely people can help out with. You know, if they need us to play somewhere anytime, you know, we can come round and have a great crack.
We might be able to see if we can get a recording for you to play on the radio.
Oh, that'd
As
be
for the
brilliant.
student, that's something else. But
Whatever you could do. That'd be cracking.
Okay.
That'd be lovely.
We've got our feet under the table
We
now.
have got our feet on the table. We
Literally.
definitely have. I think
Absolutely.
there's some
Well,
nice faces there.
we've got your email now, so
You know where to find us.
we can keep
We know where to find you.
Just not on Twitter or Tumblr because Greg doesn't check
Oh
it.
yeah, don't do that. Tumblr. Small business. Fabulous.
Yeah, I think that's all the interrogation that
All right.
Thanks.
That was
God.
quite
quite tame,
mellow.
quite tame.
Very well.
Yeah, it
They were
was.
lovely
Very
questions.
nice.
They really were lovely questions.
Excellent.
Well
Haven't scared you
researched as
guys
well,
off.
Ben. Well researched.
Okay.
It was
well,
all me, honestly. Taylor, I'm definitely not about to be muted, but
Wonderful.
wouldn't do that to you anyway. So thank you guys very, very much for
Thank
coming
you.
into the
Absolute
studio
pleasure.
today. It's been a pleasure to have you. Like, just honestly, you're great. Hopefully hear more from you in the future, and we look forward to playing your music more until people get sick of it and tell us and tell us they are dying of Death Country.
Dying of
Right.
Death Country.
Thoughts?